This show was produced by and first broadcast on Radio Kidnappers, Hawke's Bay's community access radio station. Thanks to New Zealand On Air for enabling us to put Hawke's Bay voices on air.
Good morning, everyone. This is Heiko from Acupuncture on Air here in Hastings, New Zealand, where each week on a Tuesday morning I interview acupuncturists from around New Zealand. But today it will be a little bit different. He's not exactly an acupuncturist, but he's probably even more important than an acupuncturist because he's the CEO that runs the top college, acupuncture college in New Zealand, and it's Tony Gan. So how are you, Tony?
Kia ora, good morning. I'm fine here, even though we're in a lockdown in Auckland. Thank you for the opportunity for being on the show.
Yes. Well, that's a perfect opportunity. If you're in lockdown, you've got plenty of time to talk on the phone. But listen, before we start proper and talk about acupuncture education in New Zealand, just tell us a little bit about yourself, because obviously you've got a bit of an interesting background there.
Oh, well, I actually came from Malaysia. I came to New Zealand as an international student. I completed my Bachelor of Science in Information Science, and later on I went on to finish my MBA from Massey University. So I have been in education for many years. I started teaching computing in Wanganui Polytechnic, and then I moved to Porirua to work as a marketing manager for Whitireira Polytechnic. It was then I brought in quite a few international students from overseas when education was the export industry. And then I went on to do other things in the education management role at UCO, Welltech, and back to Whitireira, and so on. So I'm now with the acupuncture school.
Fantastic, yeah. Now, but what made you get interested, to do the job at the school? Did you have an interest in acupuncture because of your sort of like background in Malaysia, or you just took it as an opportunity to take it on as a challenge?
Well, I think acupuncture is very popular in Malaysia or Asia in general. My father came from China, so I actually am quite familiar with the Chinese culture, and acupuncture is actually a main part of that too. And so, I've always been interested in acupuncture as part of the culture. But having said that, I was interested in improving education systems and management, if you like. And I saw this as an opportunity to come and join the acupuncture school in Auckland and and hopefully bring the standard up to another level.
Fantastic. Can you just tell us a little bit about the history of the college in Auckland? If you're familiar with it all, just give us a few details there.
Right. Okay. I mean, the name of the school is New Zealand School of Acupuncture and Traditional Chinese Medicine. It's a tertiary education provider, and it has been in operation since 1989. It's actually the oldest school of its kind in New Zealand. It was started by Olatunji in Wellington, who later on opened a campus in Auckland. And Olatunji sold the school in 2016 to two directors who are based in Auckland, and the school decided to close its Wellington campus at the end of last year, just so that it can consolidate its resources in Auckland. And so part of the things I did since I joined them last year was to actually find a new location for the campus. So the campus is now moved to a modern building with purpose-built facilities.
I know that I've been there, and it's an amazing new premises that you've got there.
Yeah.
The big college clinic. So yeah, it's a fantastic premises.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, unfortunately, I just want to say that a lot of healthcare professionals and the information that's out there in the ethers, so to say, they say that acupuncture is something that can be learnt in a few hours, but obviously we know that's not the case. But Tony, could you tell us what's involved in becoming a registered acupuncturist in New Zealand, and I do stress the word registered as because it's not that long ago, maybe 2 months ago, the government here has finally announced that the acupuncture and Chinese medicine profession will be regulated under the Health Practitioners Competency Act. And so, acupuncturists will actually be registered practitioners now. But just tell us, how do you actually become one?
I think you're right. At the moment, the acupuncture profession is not really regulated. As it is, if somebody who has done a short course in acupuncture wants to start a clinic, they probably can call themselves acupuncturists and start the acupuncture practice. So the profession is currently what we call self-regulated through what we call the professional association in New Zealand called Acupuncture New Zealand. How the self-regulation works is like this. If someone practicing acupuncture wants to be ACC accredited and claim ACC funding for providing treatments, they must be a member of a professional association like Acupuncture New Zealand and be abided by its code of conduct or ethics. So to be eligible as a member of Acupuncture New Zealand, one of the conditions is for the practitioner to have completed 500 hours of clinical practice. The requirement of 500 hours of clinical practice is possible with our students, because they can't graduate unless they have completed 500 clinical hours with the school. This means our graduates can actually register for membership with Acupuncture New Zealand and become ACC accredited acupuncture treatment providers. And you're right to say that the government has now recognized the importance for the acupuncture profession to be regulated. And so it has recently announced the setting up of New Zealand Chinese Medicine Council. Hopefully the council board members can be appointed by the end of this year, and the new board can then work on the policies to regulate the profession.
Now, I understand too that, can I just interrupt here for a sec, Tony? I understand too that the students at the college, as part of this sort of, big chunk of the supervised clinic and learning there, they learn a lot more than just, musculoskeletal things for ACC. They have to learn a whole bunch of range of conditions. That's correct, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. We do have supervised clinics run by our experienced clinic supervisors, and the supervisors are members of Acupuncture New Zealand, and they also run their own private acupuncture clinics. All the students must complete 500 clinical hours, as I said, before they can graduate. And so students also have to, complete up to 15 case reports based on their initial consultation with the clients to the outcomes of the treatments. So the clinics are open to the general public Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. But because of COVID, we also reduced the treatment fees. And so patients now only have to pay $6 per clinic session.
Okay.
Things can be done.
Now tell me about the students, Tony, in terms of also having study in Western medical subjects.
Yes.
Now, I'm presuming that's part of the bachelor's program that the college offers?
Yes. The bachelor's degree has a number of Western medical courses like human body anatomy and physiology, surface anatomy of the human body, musculoskeletal, apply biomedicine, when to refer, and so on. This is very important, especially when students are seeing those medical conditions such as musculoskeletal pain, which is very common among our clients.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, what about the students when they finish, Tony? Does the college, like the universities here, you can do postgraduate certificates, diplomas, master's degree. Does the college have anything like that in store for the graduating students?
Yes, we do have a postgraduate certificate in health science, Chinese medicine, which is a 9-month study, or Master of Health Science, which is 1.5 years full-time study.
Right.
The next intake is February 2022. Having said that, we are now developing a new qualification called Graduate Diploma in Health Science. This is to emphasize on the two modalities, Tuina and Chinese herbal medicine.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is to provide a pathway for someone with a bachelor's degree in acupuncture and TCM, and also it's a pathway for our graduates from our bachelor's degree, so they can actually apply these modalities when they actually are out there practicing in the clinics or in their in their own clinics or in a multidisciplinary clinic session.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, Tony, can you just, because we have to sort of finish up very shortly, but can you just tell us the best way to contact the school for any students or prospective students that may be interested to come to the college? And, can a student actually just come to the college and have a look around if they're sort of interested?
Well, we always welcome people who walk in and have a look around, but they can also find our information on our website, which is www.nzsoa.com.
Right.
Or they can call us on 096303546.
Okay, well, what I'll do, I'll also put that link into the comment section of the YouTube here.
All right.
So that just can make it easy for any prospective students. So listen, Tony, thanks very much for coming on the show, and I can imagine you're very busy with the lockdown trying to organise the whole curriculum online
when
for the students.
Actually learning now on Zoom.
So thank you again for coming on the show, Tony.
This show was produced by and first broadcast on Radio Kidnappers, Hawke's Bay's community access radio station. Thanks to New Zealand On Air for enabling us to put Hawke's Bay voices on air.